live and local.
First, live, local. This is News Channel 9 at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Christina Montoya. We have complete coverage of the storms that continue to hit the borderland, starting with San Elizario. Residents there are in a sticky situation and they're pleading for help. News Channel 9's Adrian Alvarez begins our team coverage. She is live in San Elizario.
Christina, the county wanted to give residents here on Brinkman not only sidewalks along with their street, but they wanted to give them a place where they could walk and enjoy it peacefully. But now the rains have come before they could get the job done, and now all they got is 2 rows of cement and a lot of muddy water. Neighbors here on Brinkman are on the brink of getting really angry.
If they weren't going to put any sidewalks, if this is it, they should have just left it the way it was. And we were fine with that. We had no problems.
2 weeks ago, county workers tore out the asphalt to put in a new sidewalk. That work, combined with the weekend's rains, has left the area a muddy mess, making it difficult for cars and people to get through. It was enough for Luis Carrillo to take action.
So I called the El Paso Sheriff Department, and they told me they were going to send out here somebody to see the situation.
Luis says he never saw a deputy come out, but the next morning he did see this, a road closed barricade. Some cars turned around when they saw the signs. But the residents here on Brinkman have no other choice but to try and get through, even with water at ½ a foot deep. And that's not the only problem. As you can see, it's really hard for me to lift my feet because the water is so very muddy and sticky.
I feel like we're kind of on our own, so I said, well, we need to get a hold of somebody.
Luis says he went and found some county road workers at another site, but he says the supervisor there didn't help.
He said, you know what? The people that are in charge of the project are the ones in charge. They're responsible to clean up that area. And I feel like, well, I mean, so what do we do? You know, who do I speak to?
We've attempted to get in contact with the County Road and Bridges Department as well as the County Commissioner for the area, Miguel Terán. We're still waiting back on those calls, but we'll keep trying. Live in San Elizario, Adrian Alvarez, News Channel 9.
Over in Las Cruces, they felt most of what the storm dumped overnight. This is what it looked like in the city of Crosses early this morning. Water rushed down streets and drivers slowed down as they crossed the flooded streets. And that area is still under a flood advisory for at least another hour. Russ Pappas has more details in our first look at weather.
Flood advisory, yes, for another hour. Flood warning expiring within the next minute or so for Doña Ana County. Plenty of rain shower activity, and it's moving in a southeasterly direction. But that flood warning, which will expire in just 1 minute, also included Sierra, Luna. There it goes. It just disappeared, folks. Point of note is El Paso County. The Rio Grande has received a lot of rain, and with that rainfall, we've enacted a river flood warning, and that's going to last until tomorrow morning. Jumping to our next warnings page, this is what we're talking about. Green shades, flood advisories for another hour. Odds are this will be extended till midnight because of the rain showers we're going to receive over the next couple of hours. I'll be back to give you more details on what you can expect.
All right, thank you, Russ. Meanwhile, the rain also forced about 300 residents and tourists to evacuate homes and vacation spots in Ruidoso. New Mexico State Police sent a helicopter to rescue people standing on top of cars and buildings. Divers were also sent with boats to get people out of the flooded areas. The Department of Public Safety says more than 60 homes have been damaged. Some Socorro residents are still stuck in their neighborhood tonight. City workers have been trying to clear Thunder Road since early this morning, and as of 2:30 this afternoon, it has been reopened. Heavy rain yesterday morning and last night has filled the area with mud and debris.
I know tomorrow it's maybe have to go to the doctor, have to go to school, to work, so it is our goal to open the access, ingress and egress to the residents of Socorro.
Crews hope to have the crews do have the road open tonight, but if the rain happens again, they will be back out there working tomorrow. Also on Thunder Road, one woman says the recent rains have caused a rock wall on a cliff above her home to start falling apart. Rocks have already fallen, almost reaching her home. Mayor Trini Lopez says the wall is a private dispute between the woman and her neighbor above, but says he will ask code inspectors to check it out this week. And a man had to be rescued by firefighters from his car on Thunder Road last night. The car was stuck there for hours, but he finally got his car back tonight. An Upper Valley neighborhood is still recovering tonight from yesterday's storms. News Channel 9's Monique Riego continues our storm team coverage. She is live on 9 with more.
Christina, right now we're here on Valle Bay Road, which is just off of West Side Drive. Now, last night, the water here in many areas was 2 to 3 feet deep. Now, city crews have been working up and down this street all day, pumping the water out, so it is slowly receding. But flooding like this is a problem neighbors here tell us is something they've simply had to learn to live with. This neighborhood looks like it was built in the middle of a pond after rain ripped through the upper valley. Homeowners say it's a problem they've simply gotten used to.
Oh, it's going to flood just like this. I'm afraid if it rains for more than a couple hours a day, it's going to go in the house. It gets really pretty close up to the edge.
Angela Rodriguez has lived here for 2 years. She says she went to the city about the flooding problem, but was told
there's nothing they can do. That's the way the homes, the builders were made to do, to pond the water in the backyards and the front.
City crews were out early to start the pumping, but workers tell us it could take another 24 hours and 5 truckloads to get all the water out. Rodriguez says even though the flooding may not be a city drainage problem, she hopes they might try to fix it instead of having to send crews out every time it rains.
We put in a drain system for it to drain out to the irrigation part that's right across the street.
Her and other homeowners tell us their worst fear is when mosquito season starts, because all this sitting water is a breeding ground. If nothing changes, Rodriguez says she'll have to move out or take advantage of the situation.
I feel like purchasing a little boat and maybe going out on a boat ride, taking out the kids on a boat ride.
Now, the city crews here tell us they hope to have all the water pumped out by tomorrow afternoon, and neighbors here tell us that's fine. They just want it out of here as soon as possible. Reporting live in the Upper Valley, Monique Riego, News Channel 9.
Now, the rains destroyed a 2-century-old church in Juarez. People came by to see the remains of the San Jose Mission Church in North Juarez this morning. The guard of the church says the ceiling cracked and collapsed from the rain, but no one was hurt. And a flood warning is in effect for the Rio Grande in the El Paso area. You can see in this video that the river level is very high in West El Paso near Executive Drive. The National Weather Service forecasts the river could crest past the flood stage tonight, but we're told the levees are expected to hold up. And Trans Mountain Road remains closed tonight after the rain shut it down yesterday. Crews worked to clear rocks and debris from the road, but it's still not safe for drivers. That's because if it rains again, the road becomes slippery very quickly. And things are back to normal for some residents in Far East El Paso. As we mentioned last night, a water main break in Sparks caused even more problems for residents who were already dealing with flooded streets. Meyer Street was closed, but now it is open and water has been restored to that area. And while some are dealing with too much water, several Lower Valley homeowners were without water for most of the day. A water main broke before 9 this morning on the 9100 block of Coventry. Crews repaired the line just a few hours ago, and we have learned that it broke again just a few minutes ago. 25 families are affected, and we're told crews will work to fix it again. Good luck to those people out there. Moving on to other news, 2 people are recovering after being stabbed at a party early this morning. Authorities arrested Jose Luis Ceballos hours later and charged him with the crime. Sheriff's deputies say it happened after an argument at a party in the Upper Valley. The 2 men who were stabbed are expected to make a full recovery. A Cerezo prison bodyguard was buried this weekend in Juarez. Jorge Aguero was the bodyguard of Salvador Barreno, the director of Cerezo prison. They were both gunned down earlier this week. Aguero was honored in front of the prison before he was buried. Barreno's body was sent to Chihuahua at the family's request. And friends and family will gather tonight to remember Gabriel Martinez. Police say the 18-year-old was shot and killed by her 25-year-old boyfriend, Raul Grajera, Thursday evening. He then turned the gun on himself. Martinez was a Franklin High School graduate, and a vigil will be held